Good evening, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to dev.talk. I'm Mark Oliver, your host and organizer for tonight. Tonight we're doing the one where we don't break the platform or believe the hype. Can you tell OpenAI wrote that? I can't. Right, so I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Rushan Arshad, productivity data scientist. Holds a PhD in computer science and has a passion for solving complex business challenges through data-driven solutions. With extensive experience, Rushan specializes in building innovative data products that enhance efficiency in the retail and hospitality industry. And today he's going to be talking about the AI integration framework, when to automate and when to wait. So let's welcome Rushan.
So I'm Rushan, and I've done PhD in AI and data science from Bournemouth University. So, and also I've done my master's from here as well. So it's been a long journey with Bournemouth University, and coming back here and sharing my work, it's a bit of surreal as well for me. So I work as a productivity data scientist with a consulting company in retail and hospitality. So today what I'm going to share with you is my experience in building data products, building innovative AI systems and AI products for a lot of different clients and a variety of different industries and sectors. And I've seen lots and lots of problems and I've solved most of them. So I'm going to share my experience with you all. So the problem with AI is everybody wants to throw a problem at AI or throw AI to a problem. So either way, without thinking much, because everybody is doing it, so we might as well, or we are left behind. So because our marketing team has said that, okay, if we are not AI powered, we're not going to sell anything. So basically, most of the decisions in the last few years regarding AI products are surrounded by these problems that we face. So I'm going to try to lay out a framework for you guys to use in your personal AI-related issues or AI-related products or for your companies. That will make failures a lot less, essentially, which I've used this framework time and again. I've found it really helpful. So everybody wants to do something with AI and everybody wants to solve their problems, whether they are just want to write something for their marketing campaigns or they want to just build a chatbot just because. So everywhere, even like you can see, even a carpenter is trying to do something with AI. So why not? So I mean, most of you have heard about it. Like people have said to you, okay, you have this problem. Why not try? Why not use any large language model or any ChatGPT or Gemini-like stuff to just see what comes out of it? So AI is not just that. AI is a lot more complex than that. But in this talk today, I've used one of my strategies that you have to zoom out before you zoom in. So I'm going to abstract a lot of technical jargon and technical details. We're not going to discuss about how can I optimize the context windows in a chatbot. So, or how can I optimize my vector databases so my queries are fast? So we're not going to do that today. But what we're going to do is to look at it as a strategic level of how to build innovative products that drive business value using AI. So it's all about, if you're not making money at the end of the day, your company is not gonna keep on investing on you or keep on investing on your AI ventures. So you have to drive value first of all. So how many of you have been told this, okay, just throw that problem at AI? The show of hands. Yeah, so I didn't imagine it any different. So most of you have heard about it. So, but the real problem is it's not really about AI. It's about your process. You're trying to optimize your process. You're trying to get your process to become faster, to become more productive, or to drive more business value. That's the end goal. Whether you're building websites, whether you're building any software systems, at the end of the day, you have to make money out of it or it goes bust. So ultimately, the goal is about your process. It's not about what you use to improve that process. So, for example, if you look at the customer service disaster, as I would say about it. So basically, a company automated their complaint handling with an AI chatbot. Everybody is doing that right now. I haven't come across any chatbot that has given me anything useful. Even the major companies, like, I don't want to name any companies here, but all the major companies, even those companies who have like billions of pounds at their disposal, even their chatbots are just rubbish, basically. So, like, if you automated your complaint system or a customer service assistant with a chatbot, basically you're gonna get more problems faster. So 40% increase in escalations is you have automated the process, so you're getting more complaints basically, but that doesn't solve the problem. That raises more problems than it solves. So why? So basically, your underlying process is broken. That's why you're getting more. You're basically getting more complaints. Rather than solving those complaints, you're getting more complaints. So that's the lesson that we get from this. Automating a bad process is just gonna give you bad processes a lot faster. So basically, that's the thing that we need to understand before solving any problem. We need to look at whether our process is good enough to automate or not. So all the images that I've used today are generated by AI. So if you see a problem or if you notice any mistakes, it basically tells you what I'm trying to tell you as well. So, so basically, you have to fix first and then automate. So basically, first fix the process, remove any bottlenecks, remove any of the infrastructure problems that you're having. If your data is coming from point A to B slower, AI model is not gonna fix that, or model not gonna give you better results because it's an AI model. Because your pipeline is broken, you're not gonna get good results anyways. So first of all, I've like, since I've started using AI in my day-to-day work, I've built more scripts to automate my stuff than ever before, because the traditional automations that we have had for decades is useful for like more than 90% of the cases. But because we have AI, we don't look at that first. We just jump into AI models and just ask it to do things for us before looking at more optimal ways to do that. And then after these automations don't work, then you can consider AI. Then your problem is basically complex enough for AI to basically provide any good results. So before you touch AI, ask these questions. Is the process actually broken or is it just slow? Whether you need to optimize resources or allocate more memory or storage to your server, or whether you want to like optimize your pipelines. whether they are slow or just your process is actually broken. Do you understand why it's broken? So you need to understand if it's broken or is it slow, why it is slow, what is causing that. Have you fixed the fundamentals? Have you looked at the common things? For example, the people who have worked with SQL, whether you've joined the right tables, whether your data is in at a unified place, whether your queries are too complex or they are basically slowing down the pipeline, what it is. Have you fixed the fundamentals? Does the solution require intelligence or just automation? So there's a difference between the two. So if it requires intelligence, yes, you can consider AI. Or if it's just automation, recently I've seen a lot of people talk about tools like Anyten, Make.com, Zapier, and tons of these tools. So people tend to categorize these as AI tools. They are absolutely not. So I built a pipeline using Anyten, just wanted to try that. So I could use like 4 or 5 different Python scripts to build that pipeline. But I just thought I'd just give it a go with Anyten. So it actually did the job for me, but I used 0 AI models or 0 LLM calls in that pipeline, and it worked just fine. So sometimes you don't need to use AI, just traditional Python scripts or JavaScript or like whatever language that you use. Just try to automate your process with those scripts before you dive into AI. So let's do some exercise. So whether it's a personal process for your own personal company or for the company that you work for, just in your groups, just talk about just for 5 minutes any process that you would like to automate or use AI for, and ask this question. I'm going to leave these questions here. Just ask this question about that process. Just share it between your groups and see if it makes any difference. So I'm just going to give you 5 minutes. And thank you very much, guys. So would anybody like to share what they learned from it by asking these questions? Anyone?
Sometimes it's worth doing it. Sometimes.
It's worth doing anyways.
Yeah.
People are lazy.
Yeah. Actually, we can start asking these questions to AI from the very beginning. Say, form us a request. What should we do? Automate or?
Yeah, that's clever. Yeah. But then again, yeah, if your process is broken, that's the AI not gonna know your process anyways. So, but these questions are very important before you start any AI-related project. So, we're gonna look at some examples. So basically, let's look at an example of if a retail company wants to use AI to predict which products the customer will buy next, basically next best action, as we call it, because their current marketing emails have very low conversion rates. So based on these 4 questions, what should they do? Should they just like whip up a XGBoost model and just throw the data on it, throw the emailing lists and see what comes out of it, which people they should email about it, include in their marketing campaigns, or just we can take a step back and go through a process before we build anything. So is the process actually broken? So if we look at the analysis, look at how marketing emails are currently sent. So if we for example, this is a hypothetical example, like if the process is broken, why it's broken. So the marketing team sends buy diapers coupons to single college students because the default setting in the database was 1 instead of 0. Just because there was a mistake in the database, they were just sending out diaper coupons to people who don't have children. So these are the type of problems that you can find. This is just like a hypothetical example. So if you train an AI on these kind of data, this historical data, it's not gonna do any good to you. It's gonna recommend the same thing again and again, the wrong predictions. You're gonna lose time and resources on just sending out emails that are not going to convert to any actual sales. So do you understand why it's broken? So why is the data bad? Is it a software bug or a human error? So maybe it's a misaligned incentive. So maybe your like sales rep are being paid for the number of calls that they make or the number of emails that they send instead of like profile accuracy. So they skip filling out the details. So when you're when you're inputting the data or collecting the data, that's where you're making mistakes. And that's ending up into your database as the wrong data, and that's gonna tell your model to do wrong predictions essentially. So you have to fix what's at the end, like what's at the start before you jump into any other solutions. So I'm gonna skip these because you get the gist that this is the process that you have to actually, like this can actually make decision making simpler instead of like you have solved the problem but you're not getting the results. So at the end, let's say if even if you have like if you go into the last step, does the solution require intelligence or just automation? Even if it requires the intelligence, even if you have to segment the customers into different types of customers, even if you want to do that, is building a machine learning model worth it? Maybe not. Maybe just rules-based model would work as well. So these are the kind of things that you need to think before you actually implement a solution. So that can actually simplify your solutions as well. So then at the end of this exercise, you'll know exactly where to focus your team's energy. So this obviously won't take weeks in this time, but this is just like it's not actual flow chart, but it's just a description of where you can basically go into previous steps, if it's worth going to the next step or not, or what you need to fix. I'll share the slides with Mark and Kerry if anybody is interested. So essentially, using traditional automation, I've talked about this before as well. Like if your process is deterministic, if it's repeatable, just go with the traditional automation. Don't think about AI at all. If it's not repeatable, it's non-deterministic, then you actually need intelligence to do your work. Then you have to select AI. So essentially, like I've seen people talk about, okay, every time I ask the same question to a different model, it is giving me different results. Because by design, language models are non-deterministic. By design, it's their quality, it's not their flaw. If they are deterministic, you're just gonna get a set of results every single time, that same result. So non-determinism is a quality of large language models, not actually a flaw in it. So when you know that your process is non-deterministic, then you need to go for the intelligence and not traditional automation, because traditional automation won't solve your problem at that time. So for example, pattern recognition, natural language understanding, adaptation to new scenarios, or handling basically genuine ambiguity and context. That's where your intelligence comes in. That's where AI comes in. So like customer segmentation, medical diagnosis, basically asking meaningful questions related to your data. That's where using AI makes sense. And then of course, I'll just quickly scroll through this. Basically, if there are two types of companies that are like using different kinds of two different strategies. One is just like throwing their problems to AI. One is using the strategic foundation. Then you'll see the difference in saving costs. So ultimately, you're spending a little bit more time to actually start solving the problem, but at the end of the day, you'll see that you're saving a lot more costs than the just like throwing models at your problems or data. So that's where this decision framework comes in. Then if the process is broken, if yes, then fix it first. Then if it's repetitive, then you go with a traditional automation. If it's not repetitive, it's non-deterministic, you need some intelligence, then obviously you have to go with AI. And if you can afford to be wrong, can you afford to be wrong? You need to, if you can, like if it's not business critical, if it's not something that is medical related or life or that situation, then just keep then just fully automate it, or otherwise keep human in the loop. You'll always win with this strategy. Keeping human loop, keeping human checks is necessary. Without this, it's just like you're firing bullets in the air. It's just not gonna make any sense. So yeah, it's just, these are checklists. I'll just send these slides. This is something that I've already talked about. These are checklists. Just do this checklist first, and if you have like 70%, 70 to 80% of this right, then you can go and your basically your process is AI ready. So then obviously the prototyping stuff. So first of all, we have to start with the prototype and then move on to basically building a production ready systems so that you learn from your mistakes as you go along. So that's like the basic stuff. So yeah, that's my presentations. So yeah, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and if you have any questions.